Hello everyone and welcome back to New Comic Book Day here at Comic Vantage. Like usual, every Wednesday I head to my local comic book store, I pick up my books for the week, I bring them back home, give them a good read, jot down a few notes, things I should tell you guys, and I give you my honest opinion on them. And yeah, like always, there can and will be spoilers. So if you don't want spoilers, make sure you back out now, come back later after you read the books yourself, or if you don't mind spoilers, stick around. Let's get started. First up this week, from Titan Comics, we have 2021 #1. I actually found this really cool black and white virgin variant of this book. There we go. 2021, The Lost Children. This was actually a pretty... I had high hopes for this book when I first saw it. Immediately, as soon as I opened the book up and started flipping through it, it had this really cool post-apocalyptic vibe. The artwork is amazing. And then these weird bald mutant kids showed up. And I started getting this real serious Japanese manga Akira vibe. So the first couple pages I was like, you know what? This might be kind of interesting. And wow, I was actually let down. I could see where this could be a great story. But what held it up was the scripting. And yeah, I guess it was actually just the scripting. So we have these mutant kids who are going into what is called the independent territory of Detroit. Detroit actually declared its independence and its own sovereignty from the United States. And it's led by a gentleman named Ike Mercy. Ike Mercy also has these cool special powers, like psychic abilities, like these children. So I have a feeling he's probably from the same program. And they were sent in to the free state of Detroit to kill him. But like I said, the scripting really, it was very convoluted. You have one panel where something is happening, and in another panel there's no resolution to it whatsoever. It's just like, hey, this happened, deal with it. And it's so weird. I had no idea sometimes what was going on from one panel to the next. And I can't blame the artist for that, because the artist is freaking amazing. The artist just writes what the scripter tells him to, or draws what the scripter tells him to. Like I said, I could see where this book could have been great, and it just wasn't. It was a huge letdown. So, wow, starting off the week with a thumbs down from me. 2021. Next up, Cyberforce, issue #3. Complete opposite of the last one. This book was not a letdown at all. Great storytelling. I'm loving this reboot. The artwork is amazing. And it tells the whole story of Aphrodite and how she came to be. It's like a whole origin story of Aphrodite and her joining the team now. She's actually tasked by the government or some weird shadow agency to create an artificial intelligence. Or else she's pretty much going to die. They actually kill her girlfriend, which is kind of sad. They shoot her right in front of her. So that was sort of a bummer. And she comes to realize that she can't do what they want her to do. She can't take ones and zeros and bring it to life. But she can take her consciousness and activate those ones and zeros and give them some semblance of life. And that's how she becomes Aphrodite. Awesome, awesome story. And of course, we have a Killjoy popping up here. This was great. This is a reboot done right. I'm having a lot of fun with this. It's only 3 issues in. If you have not read this yet, definitely pick it up. And then we have X-Men Blue #28. And this was the finale to the whole Mother Vine story. And this is the evil team of Havoc, Emma Frost, Miss Sinister, and... the Bastion Sentinel, all creating this program to activate mutants throughout the world. And this is their final stand. They pretty much have all of the X-Men, or the B team of the X-Men Blue team captured. And they're doing some experimenting on them. Here's Miss Sinister having her fun. And they just kind of figured out a way to shut off Mother Vine and to stop it and reverse all the effects that Mother Vine has done. Emma Frost comes to her senses. Woohoo! We have Zorn actually absorbing Bastion into himself, but he sacrificed himself in the process of it. So is this the end of Zorn? We don't know. And then we have Polaris and Emma Frost going into Havoc's brain and bringing him back to his senses. You know, it was a good story. It felt a little interesting. I love this ending here where Magneto still tells Emma that he's coming after her, even though she came to her senses and helped everybody escape and destroy Mother Vine. Next issue coming up, the time-displaced X-Men Blue team are back. So that should be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to that. X-Men Blue's been a decent read. Not one of the best out right now, but still not bad. I enjoyed it. If you're buying X-Men, go ahead and pick it up. If not, you know, you can definitely pass on this. And next up from Pestilence, or from Aftershock, Pestilence #1, A Story of Satan. I've really been waiting for this one. Aftershock has been hyping it up like crazy for the last 6 months. It's like every Aftershock book has an advertisement for this in it. And what this is medieval times with a zombie apocalypse. They're telling you the zombie apocalypse has already occurred, and it happened back in medieval times. Here we have a cardinal, who is Cardinal Shaw, who carries the Holy Grail. And he can cure these people and return them back to their humanity. This was rather interesting. He is then betrayed. And I'm not sure what happens after that, because they just kind of stop that. And we fast forward to a group of people who are called the Risen. They get together, and it's almost like a support group. And these are all people who have been zombies and are returned to normal, trying to face what they have done. And they're led by this gentleman here, who is Sir Richards. He's kind of like their counselor. And then we find Sir Richards being possessed by Satan himself. Crazy, crazy story. The artwork's really cool. I'm really digging it. And the storyline was great. The dialogue was great. And then we have, by the time we get to the end of the book, we have the return of the zombies. This was actually the Black Death, they were calling it. So it wasn't this great plague that they had. It was actually a zombie horde. Really interesting. A lot of fun so far. Definitely going to pick up issue #2 of that. And now we have from Archaea Comics, hey, Labyrinth Coronation #4. Anyone who's been watching my videos the last few months know I'm absolutely loving this story. It's the story of Jareth and how he became the Goblin King. At least that is where we're getting from this. And I love this, that it takes place during the events of the movie Labyrinth. So here is Jareth, actually with baby Toby. And he's like, oh, gotta go. And he takes off, and it's like, hey, I know where he's going. And they kind of show you, and it's so cool. But then it flashes to this woman who I believe is his mother. They don't say that it's his mom, but it's really, I mean, if it's not his mom, he has some intimate knowledge about these people. And she has a bet going on with the Owl King, who is this guy right here. And she has, I believe it's like 2 hours to get to the center of the labyrinth, or else this child becomes his. And it's his heir, and I believe this is Jareth. This is who becomes the Goblin King. This is Albert, who is the guy that made the deal with the goblins and the Owl King to take his son. He's noble, and I guess his woman was lowborn, who's been playing as a noble, and his father commanded him to return, so he can't bring her and the child with, so he trades the child away. It's a great story. I'm having a lot of fun with this. It's a 12-issue series. We're up to #4 right now. I would say if you haven't been reading this, it's really easy to find. Go ahead and pick it up. Especially if you loved the movie Labyrinth. Oh, God. Yeah, I mean, if you're a huge fan of those 80s movies, I would definitely recommend grabbing this. All right. Next, we have The X-Men Annual Red, or X-Men Red Annual #1. I picked up the variant Art Adams cover because I love the way Art Adams draws Jean Grey. This book here, I didn't know what to expect. And the first thing, I open this book up and I get to this first page and I'm like, what the hell? I absolutely hate this artwork. Oh my God. I mean, to me, it's some of the worst stuff I've seen in a long time. Holy God, what'd they do to Jean Grey there? And it's like, they say every line you put on a person's face ages them. And then you just look at Jean Grey's face there. How old is she supposed to be, like 90? Come on now. Look at this. What is that? Look at Jubilee. What the hell did they do to Jubilee? What is this? Who is the artist on this? Pascal Ali. This is just awful, awful, awful. Which is so sad to say because it completely detracts from the story, which was surprisingly really good. It was the whole story about Jean Grey right after her return, being reunited with all her friends, and going around and just talking to everyone. Reintroducing herself to Old Man Logan. I love that scene right there. But man, it's like, it just, every panel. If you just kind of ignore the artwork and just read the story, you're actually in for a good read. There's one in here. I love this. Where Gabby just kind of flips out because, oh my God, the Jean Grey is in her living room. Oh, I love Gabby. She is so awesome. And then she goes and she visits Black Bolt, the man who she believes at this time killed Scott Summers. Which I guess, you know, he kind of did by releasing the Terrigen Mists. I mean, look at that. How old is she supposed to be here? I don't God, I mean, wow, that's just ugly. I don't, you know, personally, I think that is atrocious. Man. But some of this story just really gets you. Like this here, where she actually lets Black Bolt use her to say she's sorry. It's like, ooh, that was really powerful when you read up to this and finally get to this page. Story, amazing. Artwork, bleh. So, I mean, this one here, you can kind of take it or leave it. If you're an X-Men fan and you're reading it anyway, pick it up. It's a good story. Just try to ignore the panels. And then we have from Dark Horse Comics, we have Blackwood #1. I had no idea what to expect from this book. I just saw it sitting on the shelf, so I picked it up. And I'm all about cool indie books. This looked like a cool indie book, so I grabbed it. And I really wasn't disappointed. This book was just fun. So far, there's some serious intrigue going on. We're not sure what is happening. We know there is a college called the Blackwood College that seems to have some kind of paranormal, spell, witchy things going on. I think it's almost like a Harry Potter sort of vibe to it. It also had this kind of Buffy the Vampire Slayer vibe. And the whole story revolves around 4 kids heading to this college, this Blackwood College. They have all received a free ride. All 4 of these kids, college completely paid for. One of the kids is like, I don't know why I got this. You know, we were all given this scholarship where we don't have to pay anything. And he's like, I wasn't that great of a student. And still, I got here for free. They're not sure. So we have our 4 amigos right there. Actually, they're not even friends yet. I don't even think they particularly like each other. We have Ren, we have Rico, we have Dennis, and we have Steven. But they all seem to have kind of innate abilities. There's one room in particular in the dorm that they're staying in, room 109, which they all kind of were repulsed by. So that's going to probably lead to something later on. They all have this crazy dream. They're visited by this dude. It was a fun read. I actually really enjoyed this. I'm looking forward to seeing where it's going to go. Oh, and their headmaster is this weird tentacle demon thing. So there's that. So that's Blackwood #1. It was a fun read. I would definitely recommend picking this up, especially if you're fans of, the more, I guess, bubblegum horror genre, kind of like Buffy or, or even like a Harry Potter sort of thing. So yeah, I would say it's a fun read. Next up, Doomsday Clock #5. Is this book going to get back on schedule yet? You wait forever for it, but it's here. Worth it. Look at this awesome Joker cover. The Joker finally makes his appearance in Doomsday Clock. I'm just going to show it to you right at the end here because, it's the Joker. Come on, where are you? There he goes. And we also have Rorschach here finding a lantern battery, which was kind of interesting. Right now we have a lot of strife going on throughout the book. We have Rorschach escaping from Arkham Asylum. We have Ozymandias here, who's in the hospital. We all know in the last issue, Lex Luthor threw him out of a window. And he escapes. We have Rorschach teaming up with Saturn Girl. We got the comedian popping up. This was a good book. It's really interesting. It kind of jumps around a bit, so it can get a little confusing, but I could totally see how this whole thing is going to come together. And just reading it and looking at it, you can tell it definitely has that Watchmen vibe. I'm really excited to see where it goes. This is also supposed to be a 12-issue arc. We are on number 5, like I said. Actually, I had to look. So, really, it's a fun read. I would definitely recommend picking this up. I had a fun, All right, and last on our list for this week, which is probably my pick for the week, Barrier #5. There's that crazy sideways comic again. Here, you guys get over there. I don't know why you're encroaching on my world. Barrier #5. It is a little bit larger than the rest of the books, and it is also sideways. The whole book is kind of in this crazy letterbox format, almost like a movie. We follow our heroes, Liddy and Oscar, who are on an alien spacecraft. They've been abducted by aliens. I love this because the book is half in Spanish because Oscar only speaks Spanish. The other half is Liddy. Although we have this third alien language now. Or actually it's not now, but it is a third language. It's in a lot of the books. But it shows colors. That's it. That's their language. They've captured this weird creature from the last issue here that they want to exchange for their own freedom. So of course, they threaten to kill it. And I actually translated a lot of the Spanish here. Google has a cool app you can get on your phone. You just take a picture of this and it translates it for you. So I've translated most of this so I can actually understand what he's saying or get the gist of it. So the aliens puncture into their brains and they all wire together. And they can understand each other. See, he starts speaking in English, the alien starts speaking in Spanish, she starts speaking in the alien tongue. It is so cool. And it tells her story of her husband who killed himself. But as you can see, all the dialogue is in the alien language. She finds her husband dead after he killed himself. And then it comes to the aliens. And they tell their story of why they are here. And their story is completely in Spanish. And this was such a cool twist, finding out the reason why the aliens are here, why they're kidnapping these people. And then you come to Oscar's story. And it's completely in English. So for the first time, we get to actually fully comprehend Oscar's motivations and why he's here. Oh, and his family was murdered. God, it's such a bummer. But wow, this book was amazing. Eventually, after they all understand each other, the aliens bring them back home. And there's Liddy. We're home. It was absolutely amazing. This was a great read. It's probably one of the best books that I've read in a very, very long time. It's 5 issues. It came out weekly for the last 5 weeks. So the books are so easy to find. My LCS actually has them all 5 lined up still on the wall. So you can just like grab them all and just read them. What a great read. I would definitely recommend picking this up. Don't wait for a trade. Just go grab it now. It's a blast. All right. So those are actually my books for the week. But I just got a little bonus here, a little haul that I did. Over the weekend, my LCS had a great Memorial Day sale. They put a bunch of books on sale. They even made packs of like mini-series and story arcs and just sold them off in a big bundle. And I found one that I have actually been looking for. That's not anything too expensive. It's just, for me, it's awesome, and I just wanted it. And that is the Transformers G.I. Joe mini-series, the original one. And they had all 4 issues. All in a nice little neat bundle to buy them all. There's issue number 1 with Bumblebee being torn apart. No, Bumblebee. Issue number 2. So cool. You see Shockwave and then a Cobra Rattler back here and Ravage. It's so neat. We got issue number 3. I'm really looking forward to reading these. And then we got issue number 4. We got Superion to make a Supreme and Blaster in the background here. So cool. Anyway, that's just a quick little haul that I had for the weekend. So let's do a recap of the books. Barrier from Image Comics, number 5. Definitely my must-read book of the week. This is my pick right here. Doomsday Clock, number 5. I'm sure everyone has already got this book and is reading it. So if you don't, you should be picking it up. Blackwood, number 1. This was a fun read. Just fun. You know, it wasn't scary. It wasn't drama-filled. It was just fun. X-Men Red Annual, number 1. Good story, but wow, did the art really detract from this. That made me sad. Jim Henson's Labyrinth Coronation, number 4. The story of how Jareth became the Goblin King. Everyone should be reading this. Pestilence, the story of Satan, number 1. The zombie apocalypse has already occurred. X-Men Blue, number 28. Not the best X-Men book on the market right now, but still, a lot of fun. Cyberforce, number 3. A reboot done right. I would recommend everybody read this. And 2021 from Titan. This is a no-go. I would say, bleh, just pass on it. So, those are my books for the week, everyone. These are my opinions. Your mileage may vary. So if you like what you see and you're new to the channel, make sure you hit the little CV over here and subscribe. And after you subscribe, hit that bell up there so that way you get all my notifications and all the cool stuff I have coming out. And to everyone who's already a subscriber, thank you so much. You guys are awesome. I just passed 900 subs. I mean, seriously, wasn't I just thanking you guys for 800 like 2 weeks ago? This is amazing. So cool. I'll be hitting 1,000 in no time. It's going to be a lot of fun. And yeah, to everyone who watched, thank you so much. And like always, take it easy.